how Mr. Beast's response just made everything worse, which it did, because instead of being smart about things and, handling things with tact, as somebody with literally any amount of experience in these matters should, he has instead decided to be stupid. But we will be watching this with our boy Nuxie, and for that I need to be right here. There you go, perfect. The fucking fly trying to piss me off right now, but we will not let that stop us. Let's watch what Nuxie has to say about the Mr. Beast situation.
Gentlemen and female gentlemen, we are witnessing a downfall the likes of which we've never seen before on the internet.
I'm an ant, it's okay, it's fine.
Jimothy Breast himself, who has been on a tear of terrible shit lately, from allegations about him mistreating people.
I won't pass out from being upside down. I'm an ant.
In collaboration with Amazon, to allegations of faking his videos, to
yes.
allegations of scamming his audience,
yes.
to allegations of faking signatures,
yes.
to allegations of running illegal lotteries targeted
yes.
to children,
yes.
to allegations of knowing about the fact that his best friend Chris Tyson has been inappropriately messaging minors for years,
yes.
to allegations
of
probably other things that I'm just missing on the list. I just listed like 8 separate allegations that are all not good.
They are all very
Mr.
not good
Beast's
allegations.
Team has been working overtime, trying their absolute best to hide stuff. So they responded to some things. They happily didn't respond and ignored some other.
Yes, for everybody who hasn't watched that response, it's genuinely one of the most telling ways to respond to something, because here's the thing. If I make 10 accusations, right? 3 of those accusations are very important, and they're the ones that I focus on the most. And 7 of the accusations are more minor things that don't really matter all that much. They kind of just, put other things into context. And then you only talk about 5 of the less important accusations. Like, you don't even address all of them. And you don't acknowledge the actual serious allegations that are being made, then people are just going to assume that it's all true, right? Like, if I say, so you committed fraud, you cheated people out of prizes, you faked lotteries, and also you had a paid actor, a raccoon, which was a paid actor in your video, and you only acknowledge the raccoon claim, you're obviously guilty of the other 3 things.
And apparently they're taking down,
at least from the perspective of the public. The way he could have acknowledged it is either A, say that it's being handled, and we'll talk about it with Dogpack404, the person who made the video, or just don't acknowledge it, just ignore him, and eventually people will forget about it. Let's be honest. The internet doesn't give a fuck about anything. And so long as your content is still good, people will keep watching it. So Mr. Beast puts out good, watchable content. If he simply ignores these people who are trying to bring these allegations to light, he would most likely be able to continue doing what he's doing. Going out of his way to try and sue people has to be the worst thing that he's doing. Like, genuinely, this will be the thing that tanks his career in the public space.
Old streams and videos and stuff. So this.
Though, final pause. I will say that Mr. Beast is being smart about doing it through third parties and not, coming out in public and saying outright in a video with his face that he's doing these things, or that he doesn't want these people to talk about him, or whatever.
Dude by the name of Upper Echelon just dropped a video titled "The Mr. Beast Team is Imploding." Apparently the team is working overtime trying to cover up stuff My game theory is that
Yeah.
Mr. Jimothy Breast himself is going to try to sweep this all under the rug. He's just going to continue his
Well,
Willy
yeah.
Wonka persona,
That would
being a
be the
fucking
smart thing to
Jesus
do.
Christ 2 for children under the age of 10. I think he's just going to keep doing that shit and keep collabing with Logan Paul. That's my prediction. I could be totally wrong. That's just a theory, a game theory. But let's see where this goes, baby. Let's
Why
see
specifically Logan Paul? He collabs with
fucking
so many
dumpster
people.
fire as it unfolds. Let's see how Mr. Beast's team continues to implode.
All right, spontaneous video this time, less preparation, because this right here needs to get roasted. For anyone who doesn't know, a video came out somewhat recently.
Yeah, so this is Mr. Beast's team's first response to the long list of allegations. I didn't read all of it. I read some
cool.
of it.
We're talking
I got
about
like
the
the
tweet that I
TLDR,
mentioned.
and it was bad. And the reason
Yes.
why I didn't actually even read it through myself completely was because they don't even address the main issues. Remember all those allegations I mentioned to you? Those 8 big fucking ones? The only one that I think this goes after is the fake video stuff, which is like a joke.
From someone who claims to be a former employee of Mr. Beast. And that video contains about 53 minutes of content. Too long, didn't watch, that's totally fine. Because I did my own summary breakdown, which I'll link down below in the description, with legal examples and a full description about the more meaningful claims.
Yeah!
Links down below. But since all that happened, another member of the Mr. Beast team has come out with a statement, and that statement is absolute, irrefutable garbage.
It's so bad. It's
Yeah.
so bad! There is no...
Like, seriously. This is genuinely the fastest way to turn people who were on your side against you, because you addressed none of the serious allegations, made a joke out of the... Wait, no. You made a joke out of the serious allegations, and you treated the joke allegations as serious. Like, if somebody says, this raccoon is a paid actor, that obviously means that the raccoon is a trained raccoon that you paid to have there, which, you know what? Fine, whatever. But you then can't pretend that it's an actual random raccoon unless you want the veracity of your video to be put into question, which is the problem here, right? If you do reality TV, everybody knows that reality TV is, to one extent or another, not real, right? But when you're watching contests, when you're watching, whatever your country's equivalent of Big Brother is, if you're watching that, you cannot then be expected to continue to be invested if you find out that there's a script, right? If there's a script, you stop caring. If you're in a game show and it turns out that from day one of those people was already decided to have been the winner before like anybody even stepped foot on stage, people won't watch it, right? If let's say that Squid Games was actually getting or Mr. Beast's Squid Games, right? Which is an Amazon production and all that stuff. Like, let's say that actually was a thing. I didn't watch the video, but whatever. Would you watch it if you knew from day one who was going to win? Or would you watch it if not if you knew who was going to win? Would you watch it from day one if you knew that the whole thing was scripted? Like, I would watch an actual TV show about that, but I wouldn't watch a fake contest. I wouldn't be interested in that. Because that sort of thing is just it's not good to fake that stuff, because then people get invested. People get invested. And then you usurp that investment. And so it's really whoa. What happened on YouTube? Hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. Whole heap of people showed up out of nowhere. Hi. Welcome. I am a giant space ant from space. I watch videos, I play video games, and I eat electronics. So, leave your copper wiring.
No way someone from the Mr. Beast team actually told him to release this. I bet you he released it himself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he doesn't. You can't.
Nobody looked at this.
It's like if someone comes out with a list of your crimes. All right, they're like, you're a murderer, a rapist, a fucking monster. You kidnap children, and also I think your hair color is not even the real color. I think you dyed your hair. All right, And then someone comes out with a response. I would like to respond to the allegations. My hair color is actually completely natural. I have never dyed my hair, ever. And I will just leave that there. That's not good!
Yep.
That's so not good!
Nuxanor
Fails to
explains
address
what I
literally any
explained,
of the
except
important
in
issues
like half the
whatsoever.
time
In
and
yet another
3
example
times the
of how
funny.
to irreversibly screw up your own public reputation, speedrun edition.
Yes.
Just to clarify, this is yet again not a video about Ava Chris Tyson. That's a whole separate problem. There's
Yes.
a lot of really intense
I think the Ava Chris Tyson situation has been handled. Ava has vacated the public sphere. She's no longer interacting with anybody. She's gone private. She's no longer using any of those accounts. So unless that's revealed to no longer be the case, there's nothing left to handle. Now the problem is Mr. Beast himself, which we all thought was a good guy, and turns out all those really, really hateful people on Twitter that got mad when he, healed everybody's sight, they were right. He actually is the Antichrist.
issues coming out with regards to all that and inappropriate behavior and
I think that discussion could die at this point. I feel like
Yes.
The whole Ava
There's nothing
Chris
to
Tyson
talk
stuff
about anymore.
ran its course. Ava Chris Tyson is someone that inappropriately messaged minors. The end. Axe them. Toast. Finished. I don't think we do not need to tie back to this anymore.
Yeah,
okay?
it's done. It's talked about.
Wow.
Discord servers and private messages, and Jimmy's involved, and the list goes on. But for me, the concept of running illegal lotteries, falsifying game show results, and breaking the law is a lot more immediately interesting when it comes to the world's largest YouTuber, who is renowned across the planet for his incredible generosity.
It's his philanthropy. Oh, yes, I will give away so much money to make the children...
That is all that I know about Mr. Beast. I only know Mr. Beast for his philanthropy. I don't watch his YouTube content. All I know is that he has helped tons of people. He's healed the blind, he's housed the homeless, he's like watered the thirsty, and he's fed the hungry. Like he's a good philanthropist. Also, he did some stuff about cleaning up the ocean. Apparently, some people have said that that actually ended up polluting the ocean more because of the way he went about it. I don't know any of that. I don't know any details about that, so I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know.
Forget that I am literally using them like piggy banks. Oh, yes.
Bro fucking
Sorry, I don't
nutted
mean to
while
make fun
doing
of
that.
Mr. Jimothy Breast too much. Still waiting to see if he responds to this stuff. Not taking this too to heart, but it's looking pretty bad right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Despite the fact that every single bit of it appears to be for personal gain.
Of course, it's for personal gain.
Look, this whole thing, it's like, oh my god, like there's a story about this, right? Where this guy goes to a priest, and he says that he wants to donate to the poor, and he wants to help the poor. And the priest asks him, do you want to help the poor because you want to help the poor, or do you want to help the poor because it makes you look good? And he says, well, I think it'll make me look good. And the priest says, all right, with that in mind, do you still want to do it? And the guy says, well, no, because it's coming from the wrong place. And then the priest asks him, do you think the poor people you'll be helping care that you're doing it for personal gain? It's like the end result is still that you helped a bunch of people. All right? If Satan himself, our culture's definition of evil, came down to earth and he spent the next 100 years just feeding people, healing people, housing people, just fixing all of the world's problems. He's doing it so you'll worship him. Okay. What he did was good. He helped a bunch of people. It is up to you to realize whether or not you should worship him, though, because the other stuff outside of that is still bad. So do not, go worshiping Satan just because of, hey, he's fucking helping people. You shouldn't worship. You shouldn't worship people in general.
Okay.
It's fucking stupid to do that.
Kill this
But he
idea
still helped
right
a bunch of people.
All the philanthropy is for personal gain, okay?
Yes. It just makes you look good, which is a good
for
thing.
Doing good things
but
for
like,
people.
come on.
It doesn't negate the fact that he's doing good things for people. But yes, of course he's doing it for publicity too, okay?
Yeah.
Let's not make believe anyone ever imagined that he was purely doing everything for everyone except for himself, okay? Let's stop that for a second. I don't think that's a bad thing. You're allowed to do nice things for other people and be recognized as doing nice things for other people. Okay? Get out of here.
Nothing more. Anyway, a video came out from a former employee who claimed essentially 3 separate things. First, the game show videos are manipulated, directly impacting the integrity.
The only time where it's bad to do philanthropy is when you're faking the philanthropy. Like, it's okay to do philanthropy for personal gain. It's not okay to fake philanthropy for personal gain.
Of the competition. Second, physical
A
product.
crime, by the way.
Yeah.
Namely, Feastables chocolate bars are more akin to lottery tickets than actual merchandise.
Yeah, a crime, by the way.
Yeah.
The lotteries, especially targeted towards children. Yeah. So if fake game shows is
Well, it's no more illegal if it's targeted towards children. It's just, more evil.
it's in the, let's say, the D tier on the Nux crime tier list, then lotteries for children, illegal lotteries for children is in the B tier of the Nux.
By the way, keep in mind, the Nuxanor tier list for evil includes cannibalism on C tier and lying on B tier. Somehow lying is worse than cannibalism.
Crime tier list.
Directly targeting children, which is a pretty severe ethical quagmire.
Yeah, sure.
And third,
And legal quagmire.
Well, technically,
during his
lying
t-shirt
can also
signing
be an
live
A
stream
tier. It
events,
depends.
The team is frequently offering illegal lotteries, which are either not paid out properly.
Yes, in this specific one that's on the screen, he was offering like random things to people who bought merch.
Or otherwise violate a bevy
Like,
of rules
his
and regulations.
car,
Which
his
also, in my opinion,
Switch,
falls into the B
stuff
tier
like
of
that.
lotteries.
You'd buy a
lotteries
shirt,
for
you'd
children,
get a chance
as well.
to get a car.
Not good. That's 2 B tier crimes and 1 D tier crime.
Yes.
I'm such a fucking loser. Why am I doing this?
I think Nuxanor should make an actual video explaining his tier list of evil.
Regarding sweepstakes law. In essence, the methods plural, by which Mr. Beast has risen to fame and fortune is intrinsically predatory as it leverages child psychology for maximum profit.
Yeah, like every single person that makes entertainment in the world. Literally. You know why they have all...
There's a difference between doing something in a predatory way and doing something in a way that benefits you, right? Like, for example, if you are, let's look at it from video game perspective, right? Let's talk Warframe versus other gacha games, right? Or other ARPGs. Let's compare Warframe to something like Diablo 4 or Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal and Warframe kind of have similar vibes. They're both ARPGs, right? But Warframe benefits from you continuing to play the game and having a good time while playing the game. And Diablo Immortal benefits from you playing the game, getting frustrated playing the game, and then giving them money to reduce that frustration. One is predatory, the other is not. Both are entertainment, but one is preying on you and the other one is not. Warframe doesn't prey on you the way something like Diablo Immortal does, the way something like, fucking any other of those pay-to-win games that are so mobile gamified that pretty much just playing the game for free is an exercise in frustration.
all the quirks and gags and Subway Surfer visuals in fucking Marvel movies?
Yeah.
Because they know kids have low attention spans, okay?
Dragon Age Veilguard.
I don't think that
Sorry, I needed to
inherently
cough
is
when
evil.
I wanted
It's
to say Dragon Age
when you're
Veilguard.
manipulating them to gamble and shit that it gets really, really bad.
Pretty intense allegations, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Adding this in postscript, because I
Inquisition.
just noticed, there was
Sorry.
5 hours of
Really
one of
big
these
cough.
live streams where they were doing all this stuff that was still up on Facebook, and now, after all of the news of this
Brother.
broke, they went and took that down too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
obviously.
is like the worst damage control of all time. Someone says, like, you're allegedly doing illegal lotteries, and they're like, oh shit, I'll just delete the video.
The thing that and here's the thing, this shows ignorance from Mr. Beast's team, because deleting the video doesn't delete the video. The video is still online, right? Once you put it in the internet, you can't take it down. It's somewhere in the ether. Somebody's downloaded it, and even if they haven't, it can still be recovered. No data is ever truly deleted. It just becomes inaccessible from one point. This video can still be recovered. It's not impossible to do that. And if it turns into if this turns into a criminal investigation, which it very well might, because he's committed crimes, deleting the video will add to the charges. It's called destruction of evidence, I think. And that video would have been evidence, and destroying that will bite them in the dick.
Oh! Illegal lotteries? Well, why don't I just
Also, Facebook saves everything in their own server, so you can't even like truly delete this. This just became inaccessible to Mr. Beast's fans. That's all this
leak
does.
the footage of it? That'll definitely get
I said dud instead of did. I mixed did and does. Words are difficult.
me out of hot water. Yes,
I'm an
yes,
ant.
yes!
So they are running
Don't
around
blame
trying
me
to
for
pull
misspeaking.
every single clip of.
Yeah, this was a 5-hour stream that was still on Facebook until this all went down.
Yep.
And they just deleted it right now.
Not great.
Good, not good.
Footage of the stuff that they did, including this one on Facebook. Yeah, that probably says something.
This is like someone saying, I've seen you've sent inappropriate messages to a minor. Oh shit, I'll just go delete those messages real quick.
Yeah,
It's
because
like the
that
cops
solves
go
it.
up to someone and say, I would like to know, do you have child porn on your phone?
Wasn't there like a video of that? Oh man, I keep forgetting him. It's the fat guy who goes around like hunting child molesters, but like he actually works with the cops. He's an absolute fucking giga chad. He's an absolute fucking beast, just hunting them down like dogs and then getting them arrested. Where he actually gets this pedo to admit in front of a cop that he has a laptop in his car with child pornographic material, and he wants to go delete it. And he gets the guy to admit it in front of the cop, and so the cop is able to just immediately charge him with intention to destroy the evidence and having the stuff. Like, beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna delete it real quick. This is
Oh
like,
man, it's gorgeous.
Don't you think? Well, in my own video, I discussed a couple of those same examples, like rigging a competition between boys and girls by directly removing one of the more skilled players on the boys' team in order to skew the results blatantly on
Yes.
camera.
yeah, that's a rigged game show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
But before going back to
Not
some of
great.
the more hard-hitting infractions here, I want to read and discuss a statement made by Chucky, who appears to be a high-level Mr. Beast team member who has taken it upon himself.
High-level Mr. Beast team member. What does that even mean?
I mean, it just
He's
means
the governor in the Mr. Beast Empire.
To
Well, it just means that he's inside of the circle of trust of Mr. Beast. He handles a lot of important stuff, and so he has access to a lot of information, and also he gets benefits, and he benefits a lot from Mr. Beast's content.
debunk these allegations with one
Chucky is about to get fired.
Oh, yeah.
But God damn.
of the worst responses you can possibly.
I wouldn't say I'd fire him for this, but I definitely would say, dude, don't tweet shit out without checking with the team, because you're gonna say some shit that is gonna get us in trouble,
Imagine.
which is what he
Normally,
did.
I just read bullet points or summarize, but for this one, I'm going to go point by point.
All right,
Oh,
let's
boy.
go. I didn't actually go through all this shit. All right, let's go. Tearing to shreds, Mr. Upper Echelon.
Yep,
I
let's
want-
see.
Quote, I quickly want to debunk some of the info in this video since the guy who made it was
Only
on my
some,
team.
the
It was
easy
my
stuff.
decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than
I will character.
By the way, character assassination would have been the way to go. Like, just lean into the idea that the guy talking about this stuff was erratic and was fired because, he was out of his fucking mind, and this is his attempt to get his job back or burn down the company if he can't. If they had leaned into that, if they had just character assassinated the guy, it would have worked. If he just hadn't acknowledged any of the actual criticism and just attacked the guy directly, nobody would be as upset with Chucky. The people who are smart about this stuff would, but the general audience wouldn't.
Assassinate the person that made these allegations, even though they had evidence.
a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentions to have knowledge
And this would only work because Dogpack 404 kind of came off as a little bit of a schizo in the video.
on. There's so much in this video, and I want to specifically address him saying our videos are fake or staged because this is not true, and I was on set for many of those videos.
You know what would be a much better thing that if Chucky wanted to do? Chucky should have gone on stream, or not on stream, recorded himself off screen so he doesn't actually accidentally say something wrong. Record yourself reacting to the entire video and debunk it point by point.
That would work.
That's how you fucking respond to this. Unless
Or
the
just,
allegations...
if you only want to make a tweet, don't do it this way. If you only want to make a tweet about it, it's character assassination. That's how you do it.
are true, in which case you obviously can't do that.
End quote. Okay.
Shank the guy in the
cool,
kidneys.
man. Let's hear it. Quote.
But also, it's just weird to me. It's like, now,
And this is especially the case if you can't debunk the big claims that he made. So just if you actually can't debunk the claims being made, go for the kidneys every
before
time.
debunking the claims in this video, I would like to character assassinate the person making the claims.
Yes.
Okay, on to the claims.
You won't get in a video unless you're family or friends with someone that works at Beast. This is a wild statement that can easily be proven wrong. There's probably hundreds or thousands of people who have no affiliation to friends/family of Beast employees. Think the 456 people in Squid Game, or ages 1 through 100, etc. Jimmy doesn't more than like a dozen people, LOL.
This has been proven false.
First of all, it's terrible fucking.
And by the way, if even a single person in the Squid Games show was an employee of Mr. Beast, that's a crime.
Response. Because what does that mean? Jimmy doesn't know more than a dozen people. He had 50 YouTubers on his last video.
True.
His latest video had 50 YouTubers.
And he knew all of them by name.
But again,
they were all friends.
You're taking this quote out of context.
Yes.
He's not saying that you will never get in a video unless you're friends or family with someone that works at Beast. He's just saying your chances are super unlikely because there are a lot of paid actors.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's when there are a lot of staged paid actors that makes the integrity of the whole thing ruined. Right?
Yes.
It's not the idea that you can never get on a video. So this is a little bad faith.
End quote. Response? Sure. In the grand scheme of his YouTube channel, Mr. Beast can certainly point to a multitude of examples where people that aren't directly on or affiliated with the production team were part of videos. There were other creators, there's verified instances where a few random fans were chosen for things or won very large sums of money. But here's an example of what that looks like.
Alright, to us.
Whoa, sis.
You sure you don't want the cheaper one? Nah, I'm just messing. You got $1 million.
Yeah, he's rich, damn.
You have $1 million.
I don't believe this is real.
It is.
Man, this is crazy.
This is only a small percentage of what you have.
I don't even know how I'm gonna spend it all. This is.
Well, yeah, it's
unreal.
0.23%.
They gave this man
Okay.
24 hours to spend $1 million. He did, while they crack jokes about how rich he is and
All right.
all this other stuff. But a few years later, he came out and said this.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know about this.
Oh,
This is
boy.
whole new allegations.
Oh,
Chill
boy.
Luck, thank you so much for the 3 gifted subs. Oh, God. I didn't know this guy came out later.
I
He
didn't
did
know either.
help me financially, but like giving me money for. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. That's why I'm trying to word it differently.
Because everyone that fucking joins in the Mr. Beast shit has to sign NDAs.
But
Obviously, you know.
he did give me funds, but I just wish instead of like just because it's okay to get funds, but to help me invest and to help me be able to be stable on my own without his money, you know. So that's probably one thing I would.
I think it would be very interesting if you like got a random person and just, hey, dude, here's $1 million to invest, and then I'm gonna show you how to invest it. Like, just make a video where you're just teaching a random person in the street how to invest, and then you give him $1 million to invest with.
Do differently too.
Okay. You know the reason for that is because he wanted the video of a guy spending $1 million in a day. Obviously, if see this
Yeah.
is why I'm like fully on board with the whole idea that Mr. Beast isn't giving away money because he likes giving away money. He's giving away money for the content. The content was
Well,
having
yeah,
this
but
guy spend $1
everybody
million
knows
in a
that.
day. It would be a lot less exciting if he would have given this guy $1 million and then he would have taken 700,000 of those dollars and put them into the stock market, all right? And then the other $300,000 would have been buying himself a house, okay? Obviously, that would be a lot less exciting than putting all sorts of video games in a shopping cart in Best Buy.
Yeah.
Obviously, that content
And by the way, I think that video would still get 1 million views, but it's definitely not as viral.
is a lot less exciting. So to say that Mr. Beast is 100% altruistic is
Of course
brain
not.
dead.
Of course
Obviously not. He's doing it for the content. That said, this guy still did get $1 million to spend. Like,
Yeah.
on the one hand, he definitely gave him $1 million to spend on shit that would be good content for himself. However, the other hand, obviously it wasn't altruistic. I
Yeah.
think both of these things are equally true.
That was the best example I can give you is when we had planned out the house and stuff. I literally had an hour. He had somebody come to my house, and we sat down and we planned all this in an hour. Yeah, they came
Yikes.
to my house and we planned this out in about an hour. So
Yikes! You couldn't have at least given this man some time to think about it?
Yeah, that's
like
not
to
great.
pick the place that he actually wanted to get, or... Ugh. Oh! Bro, you're giving him $1 million. At least let him be happy with how he spends it. Oh my god.
Oh, I wish I
That could have been a great lesson for kids. Yeah, but he doesn't want to do a lesson for kids. He wants to get views.
would have had more time, and I wish I would have did a couple things differently on the
I
time.
think Mr. Beast could absolutely turn his channel into a way to help
Bro, you
kids
gave him $1 million
understand the
to
world
spend
better.
in 24 hours. Like, obviously, he's not going to make the best decisions.
Yeah.
To spend it. I had to spend the money, and I had to like.
Your Mr. Beast is just Niji Sanju with extra steps. This is crazy.
I genuinely believe that he could make a lot of views and make a lot of kids' lives better if he did the exact same concept, but instead of 24 hours, it's like a month where he's just teaching somebody to invest.
Do all this.
Imagine being given $1 million and being left with regrets about that shit.
Yeah, that shit would fucking
God
eat me
damn.
alive.
Yeah, there's this thing called sudden wealth syndrome.
Yeah, that's like a lot of lottery winners end up losing all their money and go
Yep.
broke within a year.
It's a psychological phenomenon where people who don't typically have a lot of money suddenly acquire a very large amount of it and then proceed to make impulsive, irrational, or self-detrimental decisions, leaving them as bad or worse off than they were before at the end of it all.
Yeah, like on the one
Yeah.
hand, how can you be
This is why it's so important to be wary of your wealth when you're playing video games, dude. Like, I learned all that I know about holding on to my money and not overspending it from video games.
upset at Mr. Beast? He gave the man $1 million. On the other hand, he definitely did set it up in a way for him to make bad decisions with that $1 million so
Yes.
Mr. Beast could get good content. Like, both of these things are true.
A lot of people probably know of this because when someone wins the Powerball or
Yeah.
the lottery or whatever it is,
They go broke within a year,
Yep.
statistically.
they oftentimes end up back to being broke within a short span of time.
Yeah.
Because they're making really strange decisions because of sudden wealth syndrome. Mr. Beast
You see, if I would get $1 million for Mr. Beast,
If I got $1 million from Mr. Beast, every house in my immediate vicinity becomes mine. Every single one. Like, I'm buying them all and I'm renting them out. I'm making that money back.
real estate. ASAP,
Welcome
it
to the
all goes into real
landlord
estate, ladies and
difficulty,
gentlemen.
i.e.
Fuck
story
yeah.
mode.
Yeah, all into real estate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
gives out all this money, but he intentionally condensed the timeline for this winner to a point where he had zero hope of rational decision making.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even think of it that way, but true, true. You win a lottery and you go broke within a year. Here he had to spend $1 million in one day. Boss, your Jew is showing. Listen. A lot of people think that there are a lot of successful Jews out there because of some secret cabal of Jews that control the banks and shit. That
No.
is not true as far as I know, okay? I was not invited to this cabal, if it's real, okay? Waiting
It's because of the avatar. They think you're weird.
for my application in the mail. But like literally, I was taught to invest from a freaking toddler age.
Yeah,
My
it's part of
grandfather
the things they're taught.
came to America with nothing, okay? Holocaust survivor, came to America with zero, zilch, built himself up from nothing, okay? His whole family was killed, except for his father, who my grandfather later found his father, brought him to America and completely supported him because he was like, he couldn't work after the war.
Well, makes sense.
So my grandfather
Very
supported
few people were
himself
able to
and his
work
father
after
without
what
speaking the
happened.
language. Came from nothing. So he taught me to invest ever since I was a freaking baby, okay? This is how he would give us gifts, okay? He would give us gifts to me and all of my cousins. This is how he would deal with us. It would be my birthday, okay? My 6th birthday. My grandfather would give me $20, okay? And he would say, here's $20. Now, you could take this $20 and spend it, or you could invest it in my bank. He doesn't have a bank, all right? just full disclosure, he does not have a bank. But you can invest it in my bank where you will get interest on this money, and every single month your money will make more money. And I'd be like, holy shit, I'll put it in my grandpa bank. And he'd be like, okay. And he would
Smart
increase
grandpa.
the amount of money in that bank. Whenever I would get a gift, I would go to my grandpa to put it in the grandpa bank. So he would invest by giving me interest on that money that I kept with him. It literally taught me how to be more mindful of what I was making. And then when I turned 18, he just gave me all the money that I've ever invested with him. And he was like, all right, now keep investing. It's like, Super wholesome, incredibly good education, honestly.
I wonder
Just
how much
super
money
good
that ended up
education,
being.
W Grandpa.
For the sake of pushing YouTube
W Jewish
content,
grandpa.
he completely destroyed any chance that this man had of having a truly responsible outcome,
Yeah.
which would involve hiring a
He basically gave the guy $1 million and then made sure that those $1 million were as meaningless as they could be.
financial planner, setting up a retirement fund, investing in diversified assets, etc.
Obviously, Mr. Beast isn't going to do that because he wants the good content. Yeah, it's a little scummy. It's a little scummy, but ultimately, he did give this man $1 million. Like, you have the two sides.
Did he really, though? That's the thing. Did he really give him $1 million? He didn't, right? Because you have 24 hours to spend these $1 million, but like $1 million is not the point of having that much money is not so you can spend it all in 24 hours. The point of having that much money is so you don't have to spend it and then you can invest, right? The reason why so many poor people stay poor is because they can't afford to make long-term decisions. If you give somebody $1 million and then you say, no, it has to be spent today, then that $1 million is immediately made completely worthless.
I wonder if before this guy won the $1 million, because he won $1 million in a competition working for Mr. Beast. If before the competition, Mr. Beast told him you're going to win $1 million, no strings attached. But then after the competition, it turned out he needed to spend all that $1 million.
If that's the case, then that's fraud and he could be sued.
In one day for a Mr. Beast video, then that's an actual scam.
Yeah, that's fraud.
I wonder if it was in the fine print of the original contract that winning,
Probably.
That winning the $1 million would include needing to spend that within a day for a video. Because if it didn't say that, and he entered all these tournaments to win $1 million, and after winning, he was told he had to spend it all within a day, without that actually being in the original contract, that is...
It's also very likely that he was given the option, and then because he was next to this incredibly charismatic person, he just agreed to it.
A fucking massive scam, if that's true. And I would love clarification on that, to be honest.
All of which takes time. He intentionally disallowed that from happening.
Yes.
For the sake of making a video more exciting and more clickable for the Zoomer kids hoping to get rich someday off of him, he funneled this winner into a pathway of completely irresponsible decision-making.
True.
And I think we need to acknowledge that when we're discussing the random people who go on these game shows trying to win it big. Anyway, reading on. Next claim.
All
Quote,
right.
The train track was
I completely
CGI, the
forgot we
bus
were
wheels are
doing this.
CGI, the pit is fake.
Again, this is such a non-issue from the
Yes,
video.
you shouldn't
He
even
mentioned that in like
have
1
acknowledged
second
this.
just to tell you that he fakes shit in videos, even though he actively lies. He lies. He says, I've never faked anything in a video, and he has faked things in video.
Yeah.
That was the point of this. This was not one of the big allegations.
Because, like, he says, I don't lie in my videos, I don't fake things in the videos, I don't do any of that. And then he says, he acts like he's exposing us for using CGI to make backgrounds look cool. So you fake shit.
He acts like he's exposing us for using CGI to make backgrounds look cool when we've done multiple public behind-the-scenes videos with So Crispy showing this. It's clearly not a secret. On top of that, we did drive buses in that pit, and same with the train that you claim we didn't. End quote. That part, in my opinion, is totally fine. I didn't raise that point in my own coverage.
Yeah,
because
I think it's fine because it's responding to like a non-point point. It's responding to something that ultimately doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
I think it's incredibly weak. Editing things so that the bus wheels look like they're spinning is relatively harmless.
Yeah.
And doesn't
Again, that's for theatrics. Who cares?
Yeah,
strike me as a
theatrics
point
is
that
fine.
needed to be emphasized at all.
But then don't say
Fair
you don't fake
response,
shit.
but not even one of the more important
Yeah,
details.
this next one is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Reading on, the raccoon was a paid actor. I don't even know what to say about this. Clearly not an actor, lol.
Yeah, but it's a trained animal.
If you're gonna address such a tiny, pathetic little part of the video, like the raccoon was a paid actor,
Yeah.
then you should definitely
Address
be
the big
addressing
ones.
the financial scams.
Yes.
You can't say, I'm just gonna talk about a bunch of points in this video. When he said the raccoon was a paid actor, it actually wasn't a paid actor. And then
Yeah,
just
yeah, because the raccoon was in fact not a paid actor, but it was a trained animal.
conveniently be quiet about the financial scam allegations. Like, holy cow, bro.
End quote. That was a joke? The guy was making a joke?
Yep.
Responding to the joke as if it's serious is the hallmark of someone who actually can't respond to any substance. I'm sensing a pattern.
Yes, if you are in a serious conversation with someone and they make a very obvious joke, whether to lighten the mood or to just continue the conversation's flow in a healthy and non-aggressive manner, and you take that joke at face value and you treat it as if it was a serious point, usually that is a sign of oral manipulation. You are trying to portray the other person as unreasonable by taking something that is clearly not meant to be taken serious as possible, so that you can then sully their character and make them look crazy. That's all this is doing. This is character assassination. This is an attempted character assassination.
Pattern here.
Yes, sir.
Bad look. Quote, island costs more than $1. Not true. We did pay $1 for this island.
Yeah, they paid like $28.
You can
total.
Google Mr. Beast purchases Outer Banks Island for $1, which stated this before the video was released. End quote. Yes, fact check, true. The island was sold for $1, with $27 in other taxes and fees afterwards, but that same island is now being leased back to the original owners. Not sure what to make of it, but
Interesting.
fine. Island got sold for $1 as a gimmick. He's doing all right so far.
Look, you could do anything as a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
I could go to someone and say, I will give you $1 million as a gift, but I want to buy your house for $1. So ultimately, I'm spending $1,001 to buy a house, but technically, on paper, I only bought it for $1.
The thing is, though, the only reason the house was sold to you for $1 was because of the $1 million gift. So you bought the house for $1 million and for $1,001. Saying otherwise is like, oh, but legally, it's like nobody gives a shit about legality here. All right, we're talking about reality, and laws and real life are not always the same. And in this case, that's the truth here. He did not buy the island for $1. He bought the island for $28 because of the taxes, and now he's leasing it. So he's also, paying extra, I think.
You could do that.
That's what leasing
Again,
means,
that
right?
is not one of the big allegations
Like, I think
here.
he's now,
that
like,
was
he's still paying the
obviously
owner.
not one of the points that was really being
Yeah,
made.
no, it wasn't. But that's the ones he can address, so that's the
Again,
one he addresses.
this falls under the same thing. It's like, yes, you are a murderer, a rapist, and also dye your hair to look like, and you're bald. And then the guy's like, I am actually not bald.
I mean, it's kind of the whole thing with Trump, right? Like they said all sorts of shit about him, but the one thing that people focused on was the fact that he's actually bald and uses a toupee and has a small wiener, and so that's all Trump talked about for like a year.
It's like, all right, good coverage, bro.
Bro just went around talking about how
Not the
he had
worst
real
response
hair.
ever, but he's not responding to anything.
But yeah, like the
Alright, good
claim
coverage, bro.
was, if you'll see, the island cost them more than $1. Not that it was bought for $1. He says, we paid $1 for the island. No, you paid $28. Therefore, the island did cost you more than $1.
Not the worst response ever, but he's not responding to anything of substance
Yep.
at all. Quote, he moved into a mansion 2 months before being in a video, $1 million mansion. He talks about how 2 months before we filmed the first Mac video that he moved into a mansion, Mac was staying at a friend's house, and I'm not sure how that proves anything or why it's relevant.
Who was the friend?
Well, it's relevant because he obviously knew this guy and he wasn't a random contestant anymore.
It's relevant because who the friend was.
It's relevant because it proves that Mr. Beast is taking people that he's making believe are just random subscribers that are not actually random subscribers.
Yeah.
To
And by the way, like, there is nothing wrong with doing this. But if you say it's a random subscriber, why the fuck would you not just use a random subscriber?
script his videos and fake his game shows. Yes, it is relevant.
End quote.
Actually, no. I know why he wouldn't just use random subscribers. It's because, random people can go on camera and suddenly just yell the N-word, right? And if you're doing a live show, which I guess he doesn't do, he does YouTube videos, yeah, that's not great, right? But at the end of the day, that's not a concern you need to have because you're doing YouTube videos. You could just mute that out. Or you could just say, hey, you said this, you're out. That's it. The whole point of reality show is we want people who aren't camera trained to be on camera. Yo, how's it going, meme culture? Hope you're having a good time. But like, we want people who aren't camera trained. We want that when we look at reality shows, reality TV, reality anything, right? And that's not what you're getting from Mr. Beast content, and that's a bad thing.
That's not even a response. That's worthless. But also, the
can you
initial
not hear me?
claim is somewhat irrelevant as well, because this whole
Yeah,
who
okay,
works
yeah.
on the team and when storyline just
How's
doesn't
it going?
matter. It's not hard hitting. Moving on. Quote, this wink was added in post. Bruh, he really did wink. This is a flat out lie again. End quote.
I love
Except
people
it's
that
not-
say bruh in responses to serious allegations.
Yes.
Every time he says bruh and lol, it's just
Yeah,
like,
I just
what
cringe.
are you doing, dude?
Maybe.
It's like, Sure, people who use bruh to serious allegations, they're cringe, but like counterpoint, people who use bruh in general are fucking cringe. Bruh and bruv is just a mispronunciation of the word bro. Like you write bro. You don't write bruh. You don't write bruv. You don't write like the pronunciation. It's just cringe.
I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares? He added a
Agreed.
wink in post. That's not an argument. That's like saying
Yeah,
the
nobody
raccoon is
cares.
a paid actor. Who cares?
Not a good look if the wink is real and it's one of the
The raccoon being a paid actor actually turned out to be reasonably a big deal because of the shit they put the raccoon through. Like it's a trained raccoon, and they're like throwing the raccoon around and putting it in situations that are super stressful for the animal. The animal kept trying to get away from them the whole time, and it was like really shitty for the animal. So like borderline animal abuse, but you know.
things he's claiming was added in post, if that's just a factual discrepancy.
You're right. Not looking good per se, but like, come on, dude.
That is a giga forehead if I've ever seen one. Like, I'm pretty sure her hairline starts like here.
There, again, not good, but none of this matters. Chucky is picking around the
Sun
edges.
doesn't travel.
He's not even pretending
Yeah,
to
he's not
address
engaging
a
the actual
single
points.
thing that matters. Down below, here he goes again, hyperfixating on stuff that means absolutely.
As
Yeah.
Upper Echelon once typed, I was a Mr. Beats employee, and he's a fraud. You heard it here first. He's a fraud, I tell you.
A fraud.
Nothing. I'm actually going to skip this because it's a waste of mine and everyone else's time.
All right,
Did you eat my prawn
For the
turn
sake
like
of-
that?
Absolutely.
for the sake of doing
This is actually purely off the back of eating electronics. Don't you know, like electronic components have very, very high calories, so you can bulk up really easily off of those.
it right, I'll read it.
Nothing. I'm
The Revenge Story.
Like look up the calories of uranium ore. Like it's got a lot of calories.
The 42 and 58 were switched, not real.
Eat one of those and you're bulking.
This on streams as the video that legit didn't like each other. He also claimed 58 was on the far opposite side and didn't hear him. Just because he was on the other side of the room, you think 58 heard him yell? How on earth would he know? This is such a stupid fucking
What?
response.
Contestants themselves talk about
Again,
attention.
not one of the major claims that was made. Not an actual response. He's like, maybe he could have heard him. All right?
Yeah.
The allegation wasn't a big deal, and the response is not a good deal. He's a fraud, is what I'm trying to say.
A fraud.
actually
indeed.
going to skip this because
Yeah,
it's a
base.
waste of mine and
I agree. Basic
Yeah.
skip.
everyone else's
And this is a nothing burger.
time. But then finally, Chucky says something that matters.
All right, so this is actually covering the fake rigged game shows.
Yes.
About something that matters and completely blows up his own response. Quote, not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
Yes.
He claims
So, two claims here. The contestants are not random subscribers. He didn't say none of the contestants are random subscribers. He just said the contestants as a whole are not composed of random subscribers entirely. That's the second claim. And the first one is that the video is completely scripted.
claims our 100 boys versus 100 girls video is scripted, and the proof is a random text saying it is. That's it.
That was not the proof.
True.
The proof was that he paid off people that were able to solve Rubik's Cubes to leave earlier to give
Yes.
the girls a better chance of succeeding.
True.
And the fact that a bunch of the people in the videos were paid actors.
Yes.
That's why. That was the proof, not the text.
That's the problem.
It was not scripted.
It was.
Wow.
Jimmy probably had
Okay.
countless people on set for that video, and it would have been impossible to hide.
No, it wouldn't.
This video was not scripted.
I think that
No, it absolutely wouldn't have. Just pay people. Just pay people and they'll shut up. Just give people some money. They'll go away.
this guy that's making this big response tweet doesn't actually know what scripted in a game show means. If
Yep.
you have let me give you an example. If you have 100 girls and 100 boys competing to see who could eat the most hot dogs, okay?
If the boys are winning too bad and then you cheat so that it looks like the girls can kind of win, yeah, you're scripting it.
And the boys are winning. So in order to increase, and whoever eats the most hot dogs between the girls or the boys wins $1 billion. Okay. So now, if they're all eating the hot dogs and shit, and you see one boy is eating a fuck ton of hot dogs, so you specifically pay off that one boy to stop eating hot dogs, it is now a competition of 100 girls versus 99 boys.
Yep, you have
Technically,
scripted it.
Let's say even the boys win at that point. All right. You did rig the competition.
Yes.
You ultimately did rig the competition.
So while
Maybe you did
scripted was the wrong word used by Dogpack, but it is rigged.
script everything to the very, very end of the competition. You didn't script exactly who would eat how many hot dogs to see who would eat the most hot dogs, but it was rigged. It was now 99 versus 100. instead of 100 versus 100, which is what everyone was led to believe when they actually first entered.
Yes.
Okay?
And not to mention, from that moment on, it's no longer boys versus girls. It's boys versus girls and the actual Mr. Beast team that is now trying to help the girls.
So this idea.
It's like when you're playing like a team game at school, and one of the teams is losing, and then the teacher joins the losing team, and now the losing team wins. It's like it feels shitty because you were winning and now you lost because the teacher joined in.
Idea of saying it's not scripted is not true. Because the moment you kick one person off, it's true maybe you didn't script every aspect of the game show, but you did rig it. Right?
I was on set for this, and there was no bias for who won. He also implies the video is fake because we have some employees on each team.
Whoop. He admits to the second claim. Admitted to the second claim.
Employees in the video were there to fill in for people who tested
Doesn't
positive
matter.
for COVID last minute right before filming.
Doesn't matter.
Jimmy's girlfriend,
were
mentioned
there.
this on a podcast over a year ago. If it wasn't for COVID, they would have not been in it. They had the same dollars on the line as everyone else.
See, again, this is kind of a he said, she said kind of thing. Like, I don't know if Mr. Beast rigged it towards these people or didn't rig it towards these people. Not so much the point here. No proof either way here. It is definitely wrong to claim that it is all subscribers, and then it turns out you have a couple of people that you know in there. That is definitely wrong. But
and illegal.
If there's no evidence,
that's
either
the main
way,
issue here.
then whatever.
Some random text
they
of someone
admitted it.
thinking it was rigged doesn't mean it's rigged. LOL.
I hate the LOLs, but
Yeah, the LOLs are stupid.
Yeah, no, this is really bad. This is really bad because he didn't address the fact that he did actually rig the game show. He rigged the game.
The LOLs and the bruh are there basically just to downplay the criticism and the allegations.
Game show by paying off the one Rubik's Cube
It's
kid
another
to
attempt
leave
at character
early
assassination.
because he was good at Rubik's Cubes. That rigs the game show, period. But he doesn't address that.
End quote. There it is. Right there. He completely destroys his own response, and let's showcase precisely why.
All right, let's go.
There is no bias for who won. Wrong. Chucky, you are wrong. This is a lie.
Yeah, that's it. He's not wrong, he's lying. It's different.
During that challenge,
Wrong means you don't know something or that you believe something that isn't true. Lying means you know what you're saying isn't true and you're still saying it.
there was a twist where whichever team could solve 100 Rubik's Cubes
Oh, here we go. Rubik's Cubes time. Yeah, all right.
first would be fine, but the loser would have their circle that they had to stay inside cut in half, directly influencing their ability to win the challenge overall. You can quibble about how much that change impacted their ability to win overall, a little bit or a lot, but it did
affect
impact
it.
them. During that Rubik's Cube event,
Here we
let's
go.
call it, Mr. Beast identified publicly that there was just one boy and one girl able to solve the cubes. He makes a whole big deal out of it, actually. But then, again, right in the video, he says, we're going to make things interesting and offer the one guy in there
Here we
who knows
go.
how to solve them $10,000 to leave the video.
This would have been fair if they had done it for the girl as well. But because they only did it for the boy, now it's rigged.
Which he does. The boy
Because he was offered $10,000. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, and the
maybe
prize
it
was
doesn't
like
script
5K.
every tiny bit in detail to see who wins and who loses. Exactly how many Rubik's Cube each person solved. But without a doubt, this rigs the competition.
Yes. If, and here's the thing, if he had offered the 10K to both the one guy who could do it and the one girl who could do it, that would have been fine. But he only offered it to the boys.
I'm so glad Upper Echelon picked up on this too. Holy shit.
leaves, the team is then quite obviously unable to continue competing in that event with any real chance at completing it, and Mr. Beast goes across to the girls' team and says, quote, I paid the one guy who knew how to solve them to leave. Now, if you don't win, that was all for nothing, so win for me.
Yikes! Yikes! Oh,
Rigged, illegal. He could be prosecuted for this.
oh God! I guess I know Mr. Beast wants to have this larger-than-life persona that he's such a good guy. He's paying people.
I mean, look, you're not a good guy if you screw over half the population. It's just that's just a fact. You're not a good guy.
Off. He's But when it's a competition, you realize all these people came out to this competition. They all flew out here. They all flew out to this competition to be
Yeah.
in this thing. They took days off work. They sweated and worked
All
really
he did
hard.
was screw over 99
And it's just
guys
not fair now.
to slightly benefit
That's
100
called
people.
bias, Chucky. You
Yeah.
fucking moron.
It's
Yeah.
not just biased; it's a rigged tournament. It's
Yeah.
forget the bias. It's not about the bias.
That is,
okay?
in
I don't
fact,
care
very
if people
much
are
biased.
biased
And-
in their mind. I care about when the action's
Yeah, he
rigged.
cheated.
And yes, he rigged it.
Also, wonderfully enough, it's a violation of 47 USC 509, which states
There we
it
go.
shall be unlawful by means of persuasion, bribery, intimidation, or otherwise to induce or cause any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill to refrain in any manner from using or displaying his knowledge or skill in such contest, whereby the outcome thereof will be in whole or in part prearranged or predetermined.
Yep.
Over. Brought out the Cornell Law School. It's Jover.
He
Yes,
can
sir.
be
Yes,
prosecuted
sir.
for this,
End
and he
quote.
should be
And the
prosecuted for
girls
this.
did win the overall challenge.
Oh,
Meaning
the
that
girls
the only
won?
real
Yep.
question is whether or not the world's largest YouTube channel with hundreds of millions of followers and views is
5 times the size of the Roman Empire, by the way.
governed by broadcasting laws, or if they are somehow immune to the governing regulations of game shows, traditional game shows, despite having a larger audience and higher prize money than any other similar program. To be fair, that question can actually be debated heavily. But what can't be
By
debated...
the way, like, I just want to say, $250 per person is not enough money.
is the fact that Mr. Beast directly influenced the challenge.
Listen, whether he's going to be punishable by courts or not, or whether there's going to be some sort of exception for YouTube competitions versus broadcasted competitions, I don't give a shit. Don't make believe it's not rigged. It is rigged. Come on, guys. Basic honesty here.
Yep.
Also, Upper Echelon typed out the word versus instead of just typing VS, which is serial killer shit. All right, that was a joke, copy. That was a joke. I like Upper Echelon. Man's actually spinning right now.
And the winning team.
Honestly, so far, the worst part about this video has been the search bar, because Upper Echelon is kind of deranged about that.
In a biased way, openly, which in part affected the results.
Yes.
Point blank, period, Chucky. The rest of the response is more useless garbage. He doesn't even make a passing attempt at refuting anything of substance.
Oh,
And
It's like,
the entire thing boils down
you can't really prove whether or not a giveaway is fake, because unless you are there and you saw it and you have like actual evidence there, yeah, no,
to a
it's almost
simplified
impossible.
claim that the other guy is lying. Mr. Beast hasn't done anything wrong.
And also, I'm gonna slander, and also, well, maybe not slander. Also, he was erratic, so we fired him.
I mean, that is
He's
slander.
erratic. So yes, he's claiming with irrefutable evidence that we're doing.
That is slander, because the objective of that is to represent Dogpack 404 as an unreliable source that shouldn't be trusted by way of character assassination. So yeah, absolutely, that is slander.
Illegal lotteries?
And by the way, like this is actually funny here in Portugal. Calling somebody an idiot in public becomes slander the moment somebody else who was present also calls you an idiot. So basically, if you're in public and let's say that this guy, he makes a tweet, he calls him erratic, the other guy gets called erratic by somebody else, he could then immediately sue and say, hey, this person with this much following called me erratic and tried to besmirch my name as somebody who is unpredictable and erratic, and he would win.
But he's erratic,
Wouldn't it be hard?
guys!
But from where I sit, this is a pretty stunning example of someone doing things wrong
Yes.
that are predatory and unethical.
Absolutely.
As the metaphorical levee breaks and the world kind of wakes up to the fact of who they are and what they do. Actually, the final outro is worth reading, and it goes like this, quote, Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does, and I hate to see it come into question with a bunch of lies. Dawson, if you leave this up, then you're a hypocrite.
Why
This
is he a
is crazy.
hypocrite,
What-
though? Like the word hypocrite here. The word hypocrite has a meaning, right? Specifically, the word hypocrite means a hypocritical person. What does hypocritical mean? Behaving in a way that suggests one has higher standards or more noble beliefs than is the case. What do you mean right? Because the only thing this says is he is fraudulent, right? So you're claiming he's a hypocrite. Why? Why would he be a hypocrite based on what is the video? There is no implication of Dogpack having a higher standard or for Mr. Beast than for himself. No implication that Dogpack, you know, approves of it for other people, but not for Mr. Beast. It's like the word hypocrite is again just an attempt at character assassination.
First of all, what does that mean you're a hypocrite? And second of all,
I mean, we just
what do
talked
you
about it.
mean?
Come on, Nux. We just talked about the definition. You got to pay attention, man.
Unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does. What integrity of what makes YouTube videos?
True.
He does illegal lotteries.
Yes.
He literally is getting children gambling for his freaking Willy Wonka chocolate bars.
End quote. But from where I sit, it is painfully clear that Mr. Beast's competitions have zero integrity.
We missed
Yes.
you, Randy. Where have you been?
He openly manipulates the results in a multitude of ways. There's many, many more examples.
Again, if he would have, I think that Mr. Beast could have avoided all this if he would have said that there is a large element of scripting in these videos.
Yeah.
Obviously,
The purpose of it is to entertain, right? So if he just said that, it's like, yes, there is a part of it that is to some extent scripted. Like, if they said, we were always going to walk up to whoever reached 50 Rubik's Cubes first and offer the leader of that team $10,000 to walk away, which is double the prize money. Each one was getting 5,000. I said 250 before. I don't know why the fuck I said 250, but I meant 5,000. Each one was getting 5,000 bucks. I think I said 250 because that was like on the video somewhere, but I don't know why I had the number in my head. But each one was getting 5,000. He offered the leader of the group, the one person in each group, $10,000 to get out of the competition. Okay? Realistically, the person's going to take that money unless they just want to prove a point. So either you just establish from the start that whichever team gets to the halfway mark first, you will offer that money to their leader, then it's fine. Then it's fine. It's scripted. It's part of the challenge. It's established, right? And it's especially good if you tell the contestants. So the contestants know, and that way the leader can already go, oh, so I only need to get to the halfway mark, and then I can get the fuck out of here with twice the prize money and screw over these other 99 people. Now it's no longer on Mr. Beast. Now it's part of the competition. Now it's an established rule that everybody knows about. But that's not what he did. What he did was he screwed over the boys to help the girls. And that is bias. That is rigging the competition.
Hype things up for the sake of theatricism and shit. And you are, like, at least make some sort of disclaimer for this.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, we will be doing random shit and videos that we purely will be because we want it to be entertaining. You can be kicked off any competition at any time if we feel like it.
Yeah.
Like do some sort of crazy disclaimer.
If they make a disclaimer where they're like, we retain the right to throw in curveballs at any time in order to keep the competition interesting, that's fine. But you need to establish that from the start. People need to walk into the competition knowing that's a possibility.
Disclaimer and shit. Oh my god. Like, this is misleading people into joining competitions
Yes.
that you will not win if they don't want you to win.
It's shitty.
We missed you, Jimmy.
Illegal.
Where have you been?
I
What is
told
that
some of them
from?
in the prior video, which again is linked down below. But yeah, there's a bunch of examples. This debunking response is completely worthless.
Yeah, that's awful.
And the real substance of the initial video itself has nothing to do with just editing the videos.
You know, I love how the whole thing was just to debunk claims of fake videos, but not
Yeah.
actually, you know, to debunk the actual shit.
All he
The
did
real
was
substance
debunk.
is selling
like, jokes
merchandise
and-
on a live stream while you tell
He debunked jokes and proved by accident, I guess, one of the serious claims.
everyone someone who buys a shirt in the next 5 minutes will get thousands of dollars in the package.
Yes.
Which causes people to spam buy your t-shirts, which you profit from. And then when the 5 minutes are over, you say, wait, don't we owe someone money? Okay, someone who buys in the next 30 seconds will get the money in their order, thus invalidating the purchase
Okay, so if that in fact happened, I didn't watch it, but if this happened, that's fraud.
of anyone
Everybody who bought a shirt in those 5 minutes could and should sue
who bought the shirt
and
during those
cancel
first
their
5
purchase.
minutes to have a shot at winning prize money because you changed the rules.
Yeah. So not only is it an illegal lottery, but it's also a scam.
Yes,
Let's go.
because he didn't actually do the lottery.
Oh.
That is, in no uncertain terms, illegal, okay? And it's further emphasized by the
And predatory. These are kids. Like one of the best lines I think in the original Dog Pack video was, Jimmy is not promoting gambling. Jimmy owns the casino.
True.
Okay? It's like, it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild.
deletion of those live streams because they
Like, this is unironically worse than XQC gambling.
I mean, yeah, because XQC is just like, speaking gibberish, gambling away money that isn't his. Let's be honest, he's given millions of dollars to gamble away so as to incentivize other people to gamble. It's not actually his money. And then he's just speaking gibberish, like, I don't fucking know how anybody can watch that stream and understand what's being said. But then that's all he's doing. He's not like going out of his way to like trick people into gambling. He's just gambling, and then people want to do the same thing because he's fucking rich, and so they figured, hey, I can get rich doing the same thing.
Twitch.
'Cause they're
okay,
stupid.
everyone was going crazy about XQC
That's it.
gambling on Twitch.
Yeah,
This might be, I think this is probably worse.
I don't think anybody gives
Like,
a shit about XQC gambling
At
on
least in
Twitch.
the XQC
People
streams,
care.
say-
People care that XQC is the only real criticism I've seen hurled at XQC's content is the fact that he used to be Origins. Again, I fucking love Origins, man. You can't blame me. It's my favorite RPG ever. But the thing people talk about XQC is the fact that his reaction content isn't really reacting. He will basically just re-upload the original video, and it'll have his face on one of the corners, and he'll just like be stone-faced watching the whole video, or sometimes he'll walk away while the video plays.
It was 18 plus, right? At least XQC
What news are we
didn't
talking
own
about?
the casino.
Just a little update on the Mr. Beast stuff.
Eesh. This is, well, both are not good. So this isn't like a fucking.
know it's illegal.
Yes.
And they didn't
I don't
want
know. Kick
Very
offered
illegal.
me a contract that included gambling, and I turned them down on that. So I don't like it. Okay, I don't like the idea.
Yeah, I
altogether.
also hate
But
gambling.
this is worse.
to face
my thing.
consequences for their predatory
I like gambling
behavior
in-game
and
with
gimmicky,
in-game currency. I don't
horrible
want to gamble in
tactics.
real life.
The Mr. Beast team
Nor do I want to
is
incentivize people
falling
to do the
apart.
same.
Ava Chris Tyson is now a full-blown multi-viral scandal that just keeps on getting
Yes.
Oh
worse.
yeah,
The
that does not stop.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I said this already. I said this at the start. This Ava Tyson shit started everything. The Ava Tyson thing resulted in an increase of scrutiny on everything else, which resulted in this happening. Golden rule is always gambling against other people, never gamble against the house. Oh yeah, you can't win against the house. House always
The
wins.
reality
House
of how
cheats.
they organize competitions and merchandise was not debunked. It was made exponentially worse by another employee now saying
Oh.
there is no bias and Jimmy
Yeah.
spends unfathomable amounts of money to ensure the integrity of what he does.
There is no bias.
But again, the atmosphere
There is no bias except for all the times where there is bias.
I see is one where a channel that pretty much always
there is no bias. There is no tooth
There is no Warren Buffett.
fairy, and there is no Queen of England. There are conspiracies.
exploited people, hiding under an extremely
There is no
thin
bias
and
in the Mr. Beast
disingenuous
videos.
veneer of, but we give it all away. We're so charitable.
Nah.
While they
Well,
get
the king
filthy
really
rich
died.
off of
Yes, but at the
underage
time when
gambling
that was
and
said, she
people's
was alive.
desperation in the background is now losing public support. I think it's deserved, but
Oh,
time will
absolutely.
tell. That's it. Not sure if I'll cover the Ava Chris Tyson stuff. It's got about as much public scrutiny as humanly possible right now
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not like I'd bring anything
Yeah, it doesn't
really matter
new to
anymore.
the table. But this angle seems
I
to
think
be
the
quite
Ava
a
Chris
bit
Tyson
less
stuff is
well known,
solved, like
so
it's
it felt
settled.
worth it. If you want
Unless Ava comes back into the public sphere again and has to be blasted back down, then it's irrelevant. the matter is solved.
Support the channel.
I'm glad he covered the response, the Jimothy Breast response.
There's links down below.
You follow the
Special
Olympics? Did
VPN
Portugal
deal,
win anything?
locals
No,
and
not really. I'm not
Patreon,
following
and more.
anything of
But
that.
Yeah.
I followed some of the drama and I tried to talk about it, but then I got blocked because I was talking about the Olympics and not being partnered and not being like an important YouTuber. I'm not allowed to.
Definitely check out Upper Echelon. They make pretty good stuff. I've seen a couple of their videos in the past. They make some good shit. But honestly,
Yeah, Upper Echelon
this
talks
has
about
been
some nice stuff.
a nightmare. I just saw. I think Asmund
Nightmare for
reacted
Mr. Beast.
to this video as well. The Mr. Beast team is probably taking this the worst possible direction. Just covering shit up, putting things behind
They're
the
being
rug,
so stupid about it. Yeah.
taking down streams,
So fucking stupid.
responding to points that really don't matter. Ultimately, it's bad, and
Yes.
it's probably only going to get worse. And it's crazy to think how Mr. Beast fell from grace. Like, from one of the most beloved creators on the platform to one of the most criticized right now. If you...
Yeah, it's actually kind of mind-boggling that he went from one of the most beloved content creators that everybody considered to be one of the best guys ever to, well, what he is now. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you all again next time, and have a good one. Cheers!